Hello and good evening. Right, let's just do a quick sound and light check. I make sure we're in the right place. A minute, turn all my lights on. Can you switch those on, please? Let's just make sure. Oh, goodness me, that's bright. Yeah, it looks like I am live in the right place, so that's a good start, isn't it? Let's pop that out a minute, and then we can get started. There we go, that's better. Okay. Sorry, a bit of a croaky voice tonight. I think I've got the hay fever started or something. I don't know, it's very, very weird. Anyway, welcome to tonight's monthly card club. And if you're joining live, then do pop on and say hi. For those of you who are watching on the recording, this is a live recording of a craft along session, and we're going to be making Easter projects tonight. So we're going to be using the Easter basket suite, papers, dies. Those of you who've signed up for this workshop will have your kit already that you'll have got in the post or come and collect it from me. And we're going to make a variety of different projects. Basically, we're going to be making some cards, and we're going to be making this really cute little 3D basket as well that you could put small eggs in, but I've put a Cadbury's cream egg in because it fits perfectly inside. So we're going to be making that as well tonight. Had a really lovely session this morning. Lots of lovely people came to the house and we crafted along together, which was really nice. And yeah, and so now it's time for our online session tonight. So I've also got lots of news to tell you as well, lots of new exciting things happening. So if you're a demonstrator, and there are lots of you in my team that are at the moment, then you will be very pleased to hear that all the new products are available for you to order. So the new catalogue that replaces both of our current catalogues is out and available for you to order from. It's one of the perks of being a demonstrator is you can order ahead of time. So it won't be available to customers until the beginning of May, but you can order right now as a demonstrator, and that's everything: paper, stamps, inks, plus all the new in colours, which is really exciting. You'll also probably have heard and seen in my newsletter that Paper Pumpkin is going to be available in this country from the 1st of April. Paper Pumpkin, for those of you who don't know, is a kit subscription system. So you can subscribe for 1 month or 3 months or 6 months or 12 months, however long you want. And you get a preview of the kit that's coming up in the next month. If you want that kit, then you just keep your subscription rolling. If you don't want that kit because it's not your thing, for example, I've got a lady who doesn't like making men's cards because she doesn't have any men to give them to, then that's absolutely fine. And you can just pause your subscription for that 1 month. We're also going to be looking at a UK-wide for customers and demonstrators group where we can share ideas of alternatives to projects as well. So the other things that you can make using the same kit. If you're a subscriber, you also get additional benefits, like there is a die set that goes with 3 kits in a row. So you can use it with all 3 of the kits. So say, for example, it would be April, May and June. So a die set that fits a quarter's worth of kits that you can buy exclusively, that you can't buy if you're not a demonstrator, if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, sorry. And you can also get add-on kits. So, for example, at Christmas, you buy a Paper Pumpkin kit, you really like the cards and you want to make some more, but you don't want to buy the whole kit because you don't want another stamp set and another ink pad and all that kind of stuff. You can buy refills at a discounted rate as well. So that's really, really good as well. So yeah, really exciting times. Paper Pumpkin's been live in America and Canada for a really long time. I think probably since Stampin Up actually started. But we've never had it in this country. So it's really exciting that we're going to be able to get that. Really, really good. yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So that's coming in April as well. We've also got new in colours. We've got some new ink pad closings in the new colours. So they're magnetic, the new ink pads, which is also fantastic. And then as of today, I think it's today or this week anyway, they've announced there's going to be a change in the demonstrator sign-up process. So it's something we've been asking for ages, so that's brilliant. So when you sign up as a demonstrator, instead of ordering your products there and then, you're going to sign up, and then you're going to be given like a voucher to order your kit through, and it means that you will order your kit through the normal ordering process, the normal online shop, which means you can obviously buy anything you want on there, but it also means you can go over your £130 limit, which is really exciting because people struggle. I struggled when I joined the first time. We've all struggled to get it bang on £130. You don't have to anymore. You can go over and then pay the extra, and that's absolutely fine. So it's something we've been asking for a really long time. So that's really good. There's a couple of other changes to the join up system as well. So there's going to be a slightly different kind of welcome kit sent out to people, and also there is going to be a cooling off period. So for those of you who've thought for years and years this is too good a deal, well that bit's coming to an end. So when you are no longer a demonstrator, when your demonstrator status expires, currently you can automatically sign up again the very next day if you want to. From July, there's going to be a 45-day cooling off period where you won't be able to join as a demonstrator, and then you'll be able to sign up again, and you can sign up with a new demonstrator if you want to, or with your previous one if you want to. So it will mean that you need to wait just over a month before rejoining when your demonstrator status expires, so to speak. Anyway, if you're joining live, particularly if you're going to craft tonight, then please hop in the comments and say hi. Hi, Mum. Pauline's here. Anybody else joining us and anybody crafting tonight, just do hop on and say hello. And if you are crafting along, you'll be needing your kit in the post, which is what I've got here. So you're going to be needing that one. We're also going to be using these two sweets, or these two products. So we've got a stamp set that's got some cute little bunnies and Easter phrases and stuff. I know this is reversed, but it'll be fine. When we turn the camera down, it'll go the other way around. So if you've got anything like that in your stash that you might want to grab out to use, or if you were here last month and you've got spare flowers from that last month's crafting, then you might want to use the flowers in your basket. And then we've got the basket dies as well. So we're going to be, you will have die cuts there, but I'll show you those as well as we go along. So yeah, so the sweet is called Easter Basket Sweet. That's what we're going to be using. Right, okay, like I said, I'm really sorry, I'm a bit bunged up tonight. I think I've got hay fever, I think that's what it is. So, because I don't feel ill or anything, so I don't know. Just going to be sounding a bit bunged up tonight. I've got a big mug of coffee though, so it's a tea, so it's all good. I'm going to drink my mug of tea and hopefully the steam will unblock me as we go along. Okay, so let me turn the camera around and we'll get crafting. You can say hi to Evelyn on the way round as well. Hopefully if I can get it to turn around. There she is. Hello. Let's go down there and let's make sure that my projects are all in view first off. Get the camera where we want it to be. That's looking a bit more hopeful. That's better. Push my mug out the way a minute. I can see what's going to happen tonight already. My mug is right next to the bin, so something is going to end up in my mug. I can already feel it coming. So I'm going to show you some of the projects that I've made first and the ones that we're going to be making. So this is, I think is in our kit. Yes, this is the first one we're going to be making. So these are some of the die cuts. Really cute little daffodils, narcissus, whatever you want to call them, is what they're meant to be. And we've got orange and yellow, and then we've got the grass and the stems. Really simple, but very effective. We have got, so let's find another one that we're going to be making tonight. This one is the other one we're going to be making tonight in terms of cards. So this is the first look at the basket, which is die cut in your kit for you. There are various things you can do with the basket. So I've chosen for this one to add the little scalloped border and the bow. And I've put my die cut bunny behind, but you might want to put some of those flowers from last time perhaps flowing over the edges, or you might have a big pile of Easter eggs or something you can put in there, whatever you fancy. So that's version 1 of the basket. And then we've also got version 2 of the basket, which you also have in your kit, which is this one where the basket is woven. And I've cut the basket out using the basket weave patterned paper as well. So you'll have one sheet of paper in your kit that's shorter because I've cut the basket weave basket out of it. Both sides, added the bit of grass on the top, and then a little ribbon on the top as well. And like I say, it fits in a Cadbury's cream egg, but actually you've got quite a bit of space in there, so you could get quite a little pile of mini eggs in there as well if you wanted to. So that's version 2 of the basket. And then I'll just show you a couple of other projects. So those are the ones that we're going to be making tonight. So let me put those to one side, because those are going to be the ones that we will need. I'll just show you a few others. That one's just highlighting the pattern papers, because they are absolutely gorgeous. Very different from anything we've had before. So foiled one side and matte finish the other side. Shiny, even where it's not foiled. But also the weight of this paper is pretty much like card. It's really actually quite substantial. So yeah, a bit different to what we've had before. So there's that one. The pattern paper also comes with some little scenes as well. So this one is a little kind of garden scene. So I added my bunny because it seemed appropriate for the in and amongst the flowers. You've also got a couple of these, which are kind of wreaths with a big gap in the middle, which seemed again appropriate to put the flowers or a bunny inside. And then some of the paper you can cut out. You can die cut, or you can literally fussy cut out as well. And I don't know if you can see this one at the bottom here. Let me just hold it up to the camera. But what comes with this suite is some little mini dots, which is like these little yellow dots here. I think you've got yellow and blue, I think. Yeah, blue as well. But also the pink ones are like little mini Easter eggs. Really cute. They were very popular this morning at our session this morning. So you've got some of those in your kit, as well as a little bit of ribbon for the basket. So there's a couple of other extra ideas. So let's open our kits and see what we can make. It takes this up so well, I can't get into it. That's good, isn't it? Right, here we go. So, lots of little bits in your kit. So let's start with the papers. So the patterned papers, like I said, are foiled on one side. And even where there isn't foiling, it's not your normal kind of matte finish. It's like a shiny finish. And then the reverse is your kind of standard matte patterned paper finish. So we've got Easter eggs and like a basket weave. We've got stripes and kind of almost, well, I don't even know what that pattern is really. It's almost like a Moroccan kind of pattern. Beautiful flowers and carrots randomly as well. I guess that's the bunny Easter theme. And on the back of that, we've got some checks. And then we've got, so the sheet of 12 by 12 cuts in half, and you get a scene or a couple of scenes, and then also either a pink or a blue. You'll have either a pink or a blue wreath card as well. Some gorgeous daffodils and tulips. Oh, what's on the back of that one? Squares on the back of that one. On the back of this one, we've got some really sweet little bunnies doing some gardening and little chicks and Easter eggs. And then you've got a coloured kind of Moroccan scene with the foiling, and this is really lovely. I really like this pattern. The green patterned matte finish paper on the back. So that is what we are going to be using, those papers. Let me just have a bit of an organisation here a minute. Those cards I need to show you later for what we're going to be making next time. Okay, so you've also got a whole load of bits, so be really careful with all your bits. Extra bits of, there are more flowers than you need, hopefully. So yeah, you should have had plenty of flowers. You will also have these 2 baskets, some grass, that's the tops of your daffodils, some ribbon, lots of blue strips, which is going to be for when we do the weaving in and out the basket. And I'll warn you now, that bit is fiddly, just so you're forewarned. There we go. There's the little they're foam, actually, little elements that go on with the Easter eggs. Cute. And then you've got your usual kind of stack of card, and in here somewhere, oh, there's another basket, look, with some extra bits. And then eventually you get down and there's some more bits of your flowers. So what I'm going to suggest we do is let's do the floral one first, shall we? So you're going to need, let me just get some bits out of the way here. You've got more card than you need as well. So if you want to have a change up of colours, you could do that if you like. So let's find the one that we're actually doing. There it is. Thought I was being really good and tidied away and put it out of the way too much. Right, so you're going to need a piece of grass. You're going to need a white card, green layer and another white layer, and then some flowers. What I suggest you do is actually make up all your flowers in one go, because you only need a little blob of glue to make up the whole of your flower. And then you've got them ready to go onto another card, like I had my extra one onto the little floral wreath. So I'm just going to put all these little bits and pieces. In fact, I'm going to put these little bits and pieces safely in my bin here so that I do not lose them. There we go. Just tuck them out of the way so they do not disappear anywhere. There we go. So let's get started. So first thing is your white card base. Fold that over and just line it up and then give that a really good strong crease with your boner folder. Just a really strong crease. Now you'll hopefully notice the difference between your 2 bits of white card as well, because you should have your card base is made from our standard thick white card, and then your layer, your white layer, is thin, so you can feel the difference in the thickness and also in the weight. I would never make card bases from our standard white card. I would only ever make them from the thick white card, because you just really need that weight in it for it to stand up and hold its own, you know, hold its shape. When you stand it on your shelf or on the mantelpiece, you want it to stay upright. So you've got your green layer that's going to go flat down and your white layer that's going to go on top. And before I put my white layer on, I'm just going to add my little Happy Easter stamping as well. And instead of doing it in black, I'm going to do it in green this time. So I'm going to use my foam mat to stamp so that I get a crisper image. If you're using photopolymer stamps, it's really good to have a foam mat underneath. Ours is called our piercing mat. But it's really handy to have that underneath, because you'll get a much crisper image if you stamp with that underneath. So I'm going to take the Happy Easter from the Easter basket dies. And I'm going to go with, so the green we're using is from last year's In Colours, and it's called Shy Shamrock. So that's what I'm going to go with. going to test it out as we were stamping this morning. That looks okay. And I'm just going to put it at the bottom here. Oh, let me make sure I've got that lined up. There we go. Happy Easter. In fact, that's not a great... I think that might need cleaning. Evelyn, will you do me a big favour and just clean that, please? I don't think I've put any spray on there either. I think we might have to clean that stamp. That's not my best effort. Let's turn it over. Best thing about crafting is when it goes wrong, you can just work out what happened, turn it over and start again. So I want to have a slightly crisper image than that, I think, if I can. Let's see if we can do that. And it's usually because the stamp's not very clean. Once it's a stamp that's been used a few times, it usually just needs a bit of cleaning. There we go. That's better. You can see already that stamp is cleaner. So let's just go again, shall we? Let's try. Stamp it off first. Make sure I'm happy with that. That looks a bit better. Let's try again. That's better. Little bit clearer. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stick that one on there first. Let's get that greening out of the way before I splodge it anywhere else. And the mat. Let's get the mat out of the way as well. So, use some wet glue. So the green layer needs a little border around it. Stick that down nice and firmly. And then same again on the green layer. I haven't used 3D pads on any of this. Thinking of this probably going in the post to one of my family. So I want to keep the layers as thin as possible without kind of ruining the design. So I'm not adding dimension to these because I'm thinking that the more dimension you put on, if you're going to put it in the post, the more expensive it's going to be because it might be too thick then to go in the post. So I'm not going to go with dimension. And then you're ready to start building up your flowers. So I'm just going to lay things where they need to go. I'm not going to actually glue them down yet. So I've got my grass and my stems, because I want to put my stems on first and then so that they look like they're growing out of the grass. So I want to kind of put them behind the grass and then lift the grass off, I think. So that's where my stems will go. And then I've got 2 yellow and 2 orange daffodils, and then the opposite colour trumpets. So to attach the trumpets, what I'm going to do is just put a dab of glue in the middle, just a really small dab of glue in the middle of each of those flower trumpets. And then if I can find my tweezers, I'm going to use my tweezers to actually line them up. Ooh. There's my tweezers, got them. So, just going to line up. And just make sure you've got these round the right way as well before you actually stick them down, because they are slightly different shaped on one end is a different shape to the other. So just make sure you've got them round the right way. Just over the top and just let them just kind of adhere for a little bit. Go. Really easy to do, but they make really effective little flowers. There we go. That's all my flowers. So back to the stalks. So I'm going to remove my piece of grass, and then one at a time I'm going to stick glue down where I want my stems and leaves to be. Not putting gallons of glue on because there are little perforated holes in the stem, in the leaves. So I don't want things to poke through too much. And I'm actually not putting any glue at all on the top half of the stems, because when I stick the flowers on, they will hold the stems down. So my motto is only add glue where you absolutely need to. Don't add too much and then regret it that you've overloaded your card and soaked it with glue. It's a bit pointless, really. So I'm going to have yellow on the outside and orange in the middle. And the stems need to go right up underneath the petals. You don't want any gap between the petal and the base of the flower. And then an orange one in the middle. Reversed. There we go. And then your final bit is to add on your bit of grass. And again, I'm just going to stick glue along the bottom. I'm not going to go up every blade of grass. That would be complete madness. And I'm going to use my tweezers again so that I get it in exactly the right place. So that my stalks and stems are coming out of the grass, so there's no gap between. Just going to hold them in place for a minute before, there we go, before I let go. And because I've used lots of wet glue, that will dry back nicely, and that will dry back nice and flat. It'll be fine. I've got an extra little flower that I can add onto my basket or some other design. So I'm going to stick that one up in the corner because I will use that, I'm sure, later. So yeah, there we go. That is card number 1. Have a little slurp of my tea a minute. Let me find the other. Let's find the other idea with the flowers so you can see how else the flowers were used. There, that was the other design with the flowers. So you could instead put it in the middle of the little, I don't even know what that is really. I mean, I guess that's kind of a wreath of flowers, isn't it? Yeah. So I haven't added any of my Easter eggs onto my original card, but I think I might do on this one. I might have a little, perhaps I'll have it down here at the bottom of the Easter bit. Get that out of the way. Let's have another one on this side. There we go. Just a little tiny egg. And on this one, I did actually raise the grass on 3D pads to give a little bit of dimension, so it does look like the flowers are growing out from behind. So you can, obviously, if you want to. A bit better. There we go. And that's card number 1. So that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Just out of those few die cut pieces, not difficult at all. So let's pop that one to one side a moment. And then we will find what we need for card number 2 in a minute. I'll just leave it there. Mum, I think you're the only one who's crafting along. So I'm going to hang on until you give me some thumbs up that you're ready to move on. Because then for the people who are watching on the replay, I won't be going too fast for them. I'll wait for you and Evelyn to be ready. For people who are watching on the replay, I hope you're having a nice spring, summer, sunshiny day like we've had today as well. It's been really nice sunshine and blue sky here, amazingly. Don't think that was forecast, but it has been really quite nice actually. Evelyn, you finished? Mm-hmm. You are, brilliant. Okay. Do you want to show us your card? Let's have a look.
Quite petite.
Oh, cute. There's Evelyn's. She's got lots of Easter eggs on hers. Very cute. I like very much. Very nice. Okie dokie. Right, let's find all the bits and pieces that we need for the next one. So for the next one, you're going to need the green card base, which is that one. So that is the Shy Shamrock green. And you're going to need the piece of spare blue card that doesn't have a score line down the middle. So you've got one piece of blue card that has a score line and one piece that doesn't. So choose the piece that doesn't have a score line down it, because we're going to use that for that inside border. And then we need some of our beautiful papers. So we're going to need the checked paper. So let's find that one. We're going to need, well, here we are. We're going to need the little kind of baby blue seam. And we're going to need the one with the checks on it. There we are. So on the other side of these two papers is the flowers, basically. The foiled flowers all over. So you've got one foiled flowers with white background and one foiled flowers with the blue background. But those are the ones we're going to use. We're not going to use very much of either of these pieces, so you will be able to do something different with these lovely foiled cards as well, as I've shown you already, so that won't be a problem. So those are the bits that we're going to need initially, and then you're also going to need your plain basket with without the woven effect, and you're going to need your scalloped border. If I can get that out of here. Might have to go back to the tweezers in a minute. Okay. Scalloped border to go around the top of the basket, like the brim of the basket. And also you've got a die cut little ribbon in here as well, a little bow, die cut bow. We need that as well. Oh, it's so fiddly once I put them in here, I can't get them out now. Come on.
Is there no little bunny like yours?
No, so you'll need to find something to create to go inside it. So you can either stamp the bunny, which is like as I've done, or you could get stamp a pile of Easter eggs, or you can have flowers coming out of the inside, or you could use the flowers from last time, because we had lots and lots of leftover flowers last time, so you might want to use some of those. Right, now I've got hold of the bow. That is the bit that I was looking for. Okay, so it's the basket, and then you'll need something to go inside, and obviously you'll need a sentiment later on as well, but we won't worry about that too much at the moment. So let's move these cards out of the way. That's our sample, so we'll put that to one side. So first things first, we need to fold and crease the card base. So it's already scored. Fold it over and just line up those edges. Give it a good crease. Okay. I'm going to put that little flower inside my pot of goodies there so I don't lose it. And then you're going to need the piece of card that's got the white flowers on the back, flowers on white background. It's actually the other side we're going to use. And we're going to cut off just an end piece. So it's a standard first layer size. So it measures in centimetres with the long side at the top so that you get the most out of this piece of card. It's 9.9 centimetres. Then you've got all of this lovely card that you can do something else with. 9.9 by 14.3. So the only bit you're wasting is this teeny tiny little strip here. And I mean, I say wasting, you know, you might even be able to find something to do with that as well. So that's your first layer, 9.9 by 14.3. And then while we've got the trimmer out, we might as well cut the next one as well. And the next one is, let me just measure it. It is 5.8 centimetres long by 10.2 centimetres. 5.8 by 10.2. And make sure your pattern's up the right way at this point as well. So 5.8 by 10.2. So you want 10.2 is your length. And 5.8 across. And then this piece is going to be mounted on your blue card. So you can either work out how big a border you want and then cut it round, or do what I'm going to do, which this works really well for me when I'm creating at the same time, is to stick it to the card and then cut it out afterwards. So I think I will do that, because then I don't have to faff about with measuring. And for this, because the back of the card is foiled, I'm going to use a tape instead. So I'm not going to use a wet glue. I'm going to use a tape so that it will stick to the foiling and stick to the card. So otherwise, my worry is that because of the foiling, the glue will slide around on the surface of the card, and then that means that it's really difficult to, you've got to wait for ages for it to dry, which I'm not up for that, basically. So I'm sticking that down first, and then I'm going to cut it around just to add a little border again. So I'm just doing the border by eye this time. There we go. So I've now got my mounted pattern paper and mat, and I've got my checked piece as well that I'm gonna, again, it's foiled on the back, so I'm gonna use tape instead of wet glue, because I do not want this sliding about while I'm putting it onto the card. And again, make sure you leave a little border around the outside. So that just looks a bit smarter and a bit more professional. And then your matte layer just goes right in the middle, so you can just, I mean, you could mount this on 3D pads if you wanted to, or you can just stick it flat down, particularly helpful if it's going to go in the post. So that's all my kind of background bits done. So the next thing I'm going to do is get a bit of scrap card and stamp a bunny to go inside. Or I might, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to stamp some flowers instead. So this one's got a bunny. This time I'm going to use a different stamp from this set. I'm going to use the flower stamps instead. So these ones here, and then I can colour the flowers in. And hopefully I might be able to put a couple of flowers side by side as well. I get a kind of a whole little garden of flowers growing out of the basket then. We'll have to fussy cut them, but that's okay. Okay. See if we can get them to line up a bit. Possibly just about. That'll be okay, I think. Let's try a third. Try for a third lot. See if we can fit them in too. There we go, 3 lots of flowers, look, beautiful. Let's get some colours. Colour them in. So I'm going to have the Shy Shamrock pens for the leaves, and I have got, what colour is this? This colour is Petunia Pop for the flowers. So we'll have some dark flowers and some light flowers. And then I'll fussy cut them out. Do let me know if you make this card, what you put inside your baskets. Everybody had bunnies this morning popping out of their baskets. Obviously they had the benefit of the stamp set being here crafting with me, but do let me know what you put inside your basket. If you've already got Easter stamps or other images that you can just load up really easily. Or if not, what else did you use? I would love to know. What are you putting in your basket, Evelyn? You put a bunny in?
Yeah. I don't know at that point yet.
Ah, okay, you're still putting your layers
I
on.
accidentally cut the blue before I realised that you wanted to cut the pattern instead of it. So
Ah, okay. That's all right.
A bit of white paper I could.
Yeah, in the box there's loads. I keep all my scraps of white card and I keep them all in a scrap box. So that whenever I'm doing like a sentiment or I just want to stamp a little something that I'm going to die cut, like the bunny or these, like this is just a scrap of white. Never throw any scraps of white away because you never know. Just a small little image that you want to stamp can be, you know, really, you can just use a tiny scrap and it will be exactly what you need. So, yeah, I would say save all your scraps of, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a massive scrap hoarder, actually. I know lots of people have, you know, odds of tiny little ends of ribbon and patterned card and all kinds of stuff. I wouldn't go to that extent, I would say, actually. But I do like to save white because, you know, just a sentiment or whatever. Right, what colour am I going to put in the middle? What colour shall we have for the centres of those? I think I might go for... I might go for Pretty in Pink in the middle. A nice little pale pink centres. And then it's down to some fussy cutting. There we go. Okay. So, nice sharp scissors when you're fussy cutting and cut off any excess that you really don't need. So I'll use that bit for my sentiment in a minute. And I might actually put my basket over the top to see how much flower I actually need to cut out here. So I need quite a bit. So probably think I might cut that one off, I think, and I might just go down the edge of that one probably. Let's have a look if I move it over. Will it make a difference? Yeah, no, I think I will. I think I'll cut a bit of an edge off that one. Right, let's keep the basket out. So I'm going to go as close to as I can. I know some people absolutely love fussy cutting and some people absolutely hate it. And always ask me, is there a die or a punch instead? There is, of course, a die that goes with these flowers, but because I'm cutting them as a scene, the die would cut them out as an individual little floral group, and I don't think I want that. I think I want a little scene instead, so to go inside the basket. So I am not going to use the die, although I absolutely could have, and then I could have layered them up if I wanted to, but I'm going to go for this kind of grouping instead. And again, some people, when they're fussy cutting, really like to cut right up into the border, so there's no white around the edge. I personally much prefer the look when it's got a bit of white card, a bit of a border around the edge, but it's completely up to you. You know, both options can look beautiful, so don't worry. Go with what you like, what you fancy. Cut that bit off because that was getting in the way of it. I am going to cut out that last flower. Fortunately, there's a little gap that I can get down the side between those last two, because that won't fit in the basket, so I'm going to not bother. And I'm going to leave the base on so that when I put it behind, I've got some way of actually sticking that in. You know what, might even bring that. There we go, bring that flower forwards. Look at that. Oh, I much prefer that. That's great. Very happy with that. So I'm going to turn that over actually, and I think I'll just stick a little bit of some 3D pads across there so that that stays put. We'll use that one as it's just peeled off. I'm going to put the basket on 3D pads anyway. So I might as well use those to hold all the rest of it in place. Plenty of 3D pads. I don't want a floppy basket at this point. Let's get rid of the rubbish. Okay, now you also need, of course, to go round the edge of the basket. So you're going to need really mini pads for that. So you might find that these tiny ones are okay, or you might have to cut these in half even. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, even that I think is going to be too big, and I'm still going to have to cut them in half. So this bit is going to be a bit fiddly because I'm going to make them really tiny. But it'll be worth it. I'm not going to put loads of these on, so I'm not going to have to do loads of fiddling about, but just enough to hold the basket handle. And actually I think I might put another one there and perhaps there that are slightly bigger, because those flowers are overlapping, so you won't see the fact that there's a 3D pad that's a bit bigger behind. There we go. Brilliant. Okay. And then all I need to do is peel off the backing and stick it on my card. So can you pass me the bin a minute so I can just... Thanks. I'm just going to stick all these backings straight in the bin, otherwise there's going to be little dimensional backings all over the table and getting inside every card and everything. So just peel these off and straight into the bin. Who else goes to bed after card club and finds dimensionals in the bed in the morning? Me? Or is it just me? I can't imagine it is. I imagine everybody's the same. That and little bits of bling as well. If we've been using like little diamonds or something like that, then I'll find those in the bed in the morning as well. Right, there we go. So I've got all my basket assembled, and I'm going to put it again kind of right in the middle right in the middle there. That is lovely. And then I can add my trim and my ribbon on top, my little bow on top. So this bit I am going to do with wet glue because it's just card on card, so it will stay in place then. I think it's quite a skill actually, knowing what adhesive to use when, and not being afraid to have more than one adhesive in your kit. That is, you know, a good idea. Adhesives last quite a long time actually, and the benefits of having the right adhesive when you need it far outweigh the fact that you've got 3 or 4 on the go at the same time, I think. Because if you get the adhesive right, it can really make a project kind of pop. If you've got, you know, the dimension or whatever. Often if you get the adhesive wrong, it can completely ruin a project. Right, so all I need now is a Happy Easter to go along the bottom. This time I am going to use black. What happened to the Happy Easter? Did it go back in the box, or is it? Oh no, fabulous! And can I borrow the Stampin' mat as well, please? Thank you. So the other thing that we've got coming this year as well in terms of new products is a new black ink as well. And my understanding is that the new black ink is going to be a universal ink. So we will no longer need different inks. We won't need Memento and Stays On and all the different things, because we will just have one ink that we'll be able to use for everything. Right, I'm going to stamp it this end actually, which is great. I think that will make life a lot easier. There we go. So that is also coming in the new catalogue as well. So again, if you're a demonstrator, you can already order that. That is out and available. Right, let's see where to chop it off. About there, I think. Great. Just going to trim that little end piece off. Just do that by eye. And then that needs to go on some dimensionals as well. There we go. Bit more bling. Let's have some of these blue dots this time. There we go. So we've got two different versions there. We've got one with the flowers and one with the bow, one with the bunny. Let me know which one you prefer, flowers or the bunny. I like the bunny, I think he's quite cute. But I do quite like those flowers actually as well. Quite pleased with that. What have you done? You got you've got your bunny.
I just dropped wet glue all over my card.
Oh dear.
I dropped my
She's dropped the wet glue all over her card. Right, grab a tissue and wipe it off, and then you can use the glue eraser to get off any excess when it's dried. You have to let it dry though. There we go. So that's the second one. And we'll have a look at Evelyn's when she's dabbed the glue off of it in a minute. She's just adding the finishing touches over there. see what other ones we've got where there. There's another one with the bunny. Creating the little fun scene. Ah, and there's Evelyn's bunny. Cute, very cute. Yeah, that will come off. I can feel it's a little bit sticky, but it's only a little bit on the back. That'll be all right. Once it's dried, you'll be able to use the glue rubber to get that off. So there we go. So that's card number 2. We're not going to make a third card because the designs are so simple, and those of you who've got the kit have got the photographs in the email already. The third thing we're going to make and spend our time on is this little basket with the weaving. So I want to show you how I did the weaving, how I attached the grass, and then how to make the little basket piece inside as well, which is just like a little half a box. I'm just going to have to measure it as we go along though, because I didn't write down the measurements as I made it, which was a bit silly really, but so I need to know, let's just think, I'll sketch it out as I go along so we know what we're looking for. So we need across there, down there and down there. So that bit there, yep, is, I think I did it in inches, so that's 1 1/4 inches. And then the sides don't matter too much, I don't think. That is, oh, line it up a little better. 1 and, let me have a look. That's 1 1/4 as well. 1 1/4, 1 1/4. And then the height of it is, an inch. So that's 1 1 1. That should be right. We'll try it out as we go along. I'm pretty sure that's going to be right. So, going to need your trimmer. Make the box first, and then we'll attach all the various bits to it. So we want 3 inches by 1 2 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 by 3 inches. It's a tiny little piece. Glue on my fingers now. And then score out the way, and so that's the 3 inch side, so we want to score at 1 inch measurements. And then 1 1/4. So 1 1/4 from either end on the longer side. And that's how you're going to make your little box up. So you've got kind of a noughts and crosses board here, 2 down, 2 across, and then you're just going to snip out. To make a really neat box, the best way is to snip out the hump. So where on the back of the score line, where you've got like the raised score line, if you cut either side of the raise and then snip it out like I'm doing now, then that gives you a little bit of space to be able to then fold a neat box edge. And it's just a really simple way to make a box as well, without having to worry about angling edges or anything like that. You can just snip those middle bits out. Those are just with the bits of raised score line. And then you can fold and stick them. So this is our template. This is the box. So it was 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 inches by 3 inches, and then we were scoring it 1 inch there and 1 1/4 inches there on the top. And then all you've got to do is fold it over. I mean, it's so small, it's really easy. You don't even need to bone folder the edges. Just fold it over, and then let's get this the right way around. Might actually want to trim those sides down, actually. Yeah, so you could take that 1/4 of an inch off those side pieces. That would be okay. And it will give you a smaller one, although I think it will probably fit. It will fit behind, I think. But if you want to trim those down so they fit behind, that's fine as well. Because these are going to be hidden, so it doesn't matter that these are hand cut, because they're going to fit fine inside your pattern. So I cut the right piece. There we go. So you're going to glue your box together. Very simply. Your box base. And you are going to then stick your basket around the outside of your little tiny weeny box. So put the tiny weeny box to one side and bring out your basket pieces and those blue strips. So there's your basket pieces first, and you'll notice you've got slits down the side, and that is for you to be able to do your weaving in and out of. Move the egg out of the way as well, because that's going to just roll around and get in the way otherwise. So you need several blue strips. Again, you're going to have probably more blue strips than you actually need, because you need 3 for each side. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now, what I did when I was weaving mine was, like you would if you were weaving on a loom, I used my bone folder very gently to just lift up to give me that bit of space to be able to weave my blue strips through, because otherwise it's incredibly fiddly. So that was what I did. You can kind of go up and down with the pieces. Just be very gentle and very careful that you don't lift them too much and then end up ripping the card. The other thing you can do is you can turn it over and feed it through from the back. That works too. Oops. And just be careful that you don't lose it as you're going along. And then you just want to make sure that they're nice and evenly spaced. So you've got some at the bottom. You can see as well that the strips are too long for the basket, which is, you know, that's a good thing. I also would do top and bottom at the same time, because that your strips are going the same way on the weave. And then add your the middle strip afterwards. That makes it also a bit easier. So you can then push the top one to the top. You can push the bottom one to the bottom. And then you've just got the opposite weave to do in the middle. So, which is going to be slightly more complicated, slightly more difficult. It's not complicated, but just difficult. You're just going to have to be a bit more patient of weaving it in and out. But if you just take your time, it works fine. If this is all too fiddly, you could stick your strips over the top instead, so you won't get the weave effect, but you will get the pattern. So if that works, that's okay too. Or you can just leave the strips off altogether if you want to, like we did on the card one. And then once you've got your strips in place, they actually don't need any glue or anything at all because they're going to stay exactly where you put them because of the weaving technique. So all you then need to do is to just snip the ends off so that your strips reach the ends of your basket. That's all. And then you're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So the front and back look the same. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of help it along a bit by just putting a bit of bone folder through there first to create a little bit of space. Make it a bit easier on myself to begin with. And then it will, whoops, there we go. Pull it back through so it's nice and even on the end. So top and bottom first because you've already created the space for the weaving. That one went in really easily, super easy. And then the middle one is the opposite. Like I say, this is the most fiddly bit of the whole, of all the makes, this is the most fiddly bit. But it is worth it because it does look rather pretty when you've got it done. If you were making this and you've got the bundle at home and you think, oh, I just can't be bothered with the whole weaving thing, or it's just too fiddly for you, then you could obviously just add the trim like we did on the last one. So the scalloped edge, and then you know, you don't have to weave. If it's getting a bit jammed up like this one is as well, go onto the back. And where is my pokey tool? There's my pokey tool. You can use the point of a pokey tool and just drag the card along as well, because don't forget you've got too much card for what you need. So if you need to make a hole in the end to be able to help you to pull the card along, that's okay, because you can cut it off when it gets the other end. It doesn't matter if you feel like you've messed the card up, because you can just chop it off. Or on this one, the end that I'm kind of poking around at actually is going to be on the end of the card and of the basket anyway, so it's not going to be seen anyway. Come on, where are you? Can't get the end to pull through. Just a bit of a fiddle. Need nails for this, really, I think, which I don't have at the moment. Right, I'm determined, come on. There we go, got it in its place. There we are, and again, I'm just going to trim those edges off. There we go. Little bits of blue ribbon. I think it's meant to emulate ribbon weaving through. Flying everywhere. Okay, then all you need to do is stick it on the front and back of your basket. So you're just going to stick the basket to the front and the back of your basket. In fact, my little box is a bit too small compared to my other one, but never mind, it's still, I'll get some mini eggs in there. So you might want to remeasure the dimensions of that box and make yourself a slightly bigger box. It's a challenge to get it small enough to be hidden behind the basket, but big enough to be functional. But this I'm not sure this one will fit a Cadbury's cream egg in it, but it will fit some mini eggs in, definitely. So I'm just sticking the sides and making sure that the base of the box lines up with the base of the basket as well. Now I have used wet glue on this as well, rather than tape, because I wanted to be able to kind of move it around and make sure it's lined up with the bottom of the basket and things, so that it stands up. So It will take a bit longer to dry. Once you've got it where you want it to be, you will just need to leave it to dry for a bit. Otherwise it will slide off and move around. And then I also aligned the handles on mine, on this one. I aligned the handles so I could tie the ribbon round it, but I also did actually stick a bit of glue across the top there to hold the handles in place as well, to make it easier so that the handles weren't constantly kind of pulling against the ribbon. So again, that's going to need to be held, and I'll show you a little trick that I use for that. And the trick that I use when I've got anything like this is paper clips. Paper clips or pegs, that works just as well. So line up where you've glued and where you want it to stick, and then put a paper clip over the top, either side, until the glue's set. And that will help, without twisting it, it will help hold it in place until the glue is firmly set. Works a treat every time, let me tell you. So that's all I've done, is just clipped the edges with a paper clip. And it also means that it's nicely put together for me to be able to do my bow as well around the outside. So I am literally going to tie around the basket handles as if I was tying a ribbon onto a real basket handle. There's plenty of ribbon in your kit, so you will have, and the ribbon is kind of patterned all the way through to the core, so you haven't got like a reverse side of the ribbon or anything, which is also quite handy. But it means you've got plenty. You can have nice long tails. You don't have to worry about doing bunny ears or anything like that. It should be really easy to tie your bow and not make a mess of it. As I know is some people's fear of bow tying. It's fine. There we go. So I can put my basket. Oh, I know what we haven't done. We haven't added the grass on. Oh, that was silly, wasn't it? Might have to add the grass on the other side. That's because I didn't have the grass in front of me. So on this box, I put the grass behind before I stuck the basket on, but actually there is just enough room to be able to poke the grass behind. So I think I will do that and try and see if I can just get it in behind. Again, need to put a bit of wet glue on there so that it so that you can slide it around a little bit. So I will put a little bit on the back there, all the way along, and then push the grass in. Making sure that the grass goes all the way up to the edge of the handle. You just have to hold it down for a little bit. There we go. Works just as well, look. It's fretting for no reason. So your glue goes up to the bottom, up to the base of the handles. And then you can slide it in and it will stick. But it will just need a bit of time to completely stick. I mean, I would leave it probably overnight before I tried to fill it with anything, I would say. So that you don't accidentally catch an Easter egg or something on the grass and then it slides away. That's not what you want. So there we go. So as simple as that, really easy actually. So you've got your little box. See, that one's not completely stuck yet. Inside the two sides of your basket, and then the handles pulled together by the ribbon and a little bit of glue, which by tomorrow morning all of this will be nice and solidly stuck, and will be just exactly the same as this. So then you'll be able to fill the little box element of it with whatever you want to put in there. Really easy, really easy. Just lay that one down so you can see how that one's constructed as well. So let's just bring in the other projects that we've got so you can see all the other bits. We've got the little basket there, and then we've got the basket card, We've got some scenery. These Easter eggs were just fussy cut, and the daffodil was just fussy cut from the paper. But there is a die that goes with the set, so you could die cut Easter eggs if you wanted to. And we've got our lovely daffodils. And then finally, we've got the wreath scene with the daffodils in the middle as well. So loads of different ideas with these papers. They're really pretty. Loads of papers left. So you can make quick and easy ones with the scenes that are already kind of scoped out for you, like these ones. Really quick and easy to make scenes. Oh, there's another one. Or you can just make the papers the star, like I've done with this one, and just add your sentiment and a little bit of bling. Really simple to make just quick and easy Easter cards without too much fuss. Or you can kind of step it up, do some stamping, die cutting, whatever you want. And it's perfect for 3D construction as well, because the card is just that little bit thicker. It just makes perfect 3D construction, because it's just, you've got a bit more firmness to the card, so it just helps to hold its shape a bit more. So let me turn the camera back around, and let me see, where are we? Hello, there we go. Yeah, so that is today's card club. I just wanted to show you what we're going to be making next month, in case you might fancy joining me. And next month is going to be all about the sports fans. So next month we've got football cards. I've made all of these ones into football cards, but I have used this suite as well, and I will show you how to make rugby cards as well out of these. And actually any sport that involves grass, nets, flags, anything like that, shirts, you can use these to make any kind of sports cards. So I was actually thinking about making Alexander a running one with the shirt and turning the shirt into a running shirt instead. So lots of possibilities here, and they're not just sport, football. The stamps and dies that come with this suite. Can I see it? There it is. Yeah, the stamps and dies that come with this suite are football related in as much as it's got a football on it. But other than that, the shirt's universal. The netting bit is universal. The flag is universal. As you see on this one, there's a little celebratory cup as well. So you could maybe use this for exam congratulations, or just general congratulations, really. Celebrations, that kind of thing. And the suite comes with these really cool foam stars in different sizes. So you've got black and white, and 2 different sizes as well. And you've also got things like little tufts of grass and stuff like that. So lots of possibilities. Although this says has got a football on it, actually there's lots of possibilities with this suite, and I'm going to show you what else you can do with it. I've got an email lined up for tomorrow to go out for people to sign up. Just click the link to the form and fill in your details to say if you would like to join me. That would be lovely, and then I will get you a kit in the post, or a kit to be collected. Okay. Lovely to have people join me, especially if you're watching on the replay. Do let me know how you've got on, because I know there are quite a few people who are going to be watching the recording later on. And see you again soon. Bye bye.